Hey guys, it's Sam. Long time no see. I just decided to finally do an update video. I'm actually going to try to film 2 videos today, and I apologize for my voice. I've had a bit of a sinus thing going on the last couple of weeks, and I've been trying to wait until I sound completely normal to do this, but I've given up. It looks like it's going to be lingering for a bit. Anyway, I'm probably going to end up doing 2 videos, one all about the weeks and then another all about where I've been in the planning world since I last checked in. So it's been a bit of a rough year for my family. We lost my father-in-law in January to COVID, and then I just lost my father at the end of May. He passed from cancer. So there's been a lot going on in our personal lives, and then a few of our kids have gotten jobs, and between work and back and forth with kids, just haven't found a lot of downtime for just me. I also tried to do videos when I had 2 days off in a row, and I haven't had 2 days off in a row since I went back to the busier, more theft heavy store that I used to work at years ago. So I've just kind of been no downtime, going through a lot, and just haven't had the time or inclination to do a video in a while. But I feel like I've just made it through a rough patch with my planning, and I think that I'm set for the rest of the year. Now that I've said that, that probably means that I'm going to end up jumping out of this system. I hope not, because for the most part, Hobonichi Weeks is kind of planner piece for me. There are a couple of things that I really wish was different about this planner that would really make it planner piece, one of which I know would never happen. The other I can only hope, because I keep sending in those suggestions. Maybe one day it will come true. But for right now, I am in this Chic Sparrow Giovanni cover, and this is the new Cascade folio design. I always loved the design of Chic Sparrow when they had their weekly calendar cover, which you can still purchase, but I've always wanted one that has a pen loop and one that has pockets. Sometimes I have used my planner and wallet combination. Of course, now that I finally get what I always wanted, I'm not using this as a wallet, but I am still happy that the pockets are here. You can put some decoration in here. This is actually a little freebie that came with a coffee cup cozy that I order from a shop called Simple October, and I have a large collection of her little cozies that go around the reusable Starbucks cups that I use in the morning with my coffee. And I just thought it was really pretty, and I love yellow, so I decided to tuck that in there. Otherwise, this has been empty. I haven't even taken the time to decorate it. This Giovanni leather is nice and thin, and it is very soft-handed. I think that's the correct term. This is a beautiful, beautiful leather. I wanted Giovanni so badly when Chic Sparrow came out with it, but I was still in my A6 rings. And so I had no need or a size to purchase it with. And I do believe when Giovanni first came out, it wasn't in the Cascade. I could be wrong about that, but suffice it to say that I did not go for any of the Giovanni, and I just drooled over other people's photos. And of course, when I get back into the Hobonichi Weeks, they don't have any Giovanni. And so I ended up lucking out and finding this one on Buy Sell Trade on the Facebook group. I love that there is character and texture to this leather. It makes it a less susceptible to looking scratched and worn, which I know so many of you love, but I do not. It has a little mark on here that I could probably get out. I toss it in my Fjallraven backpack. I've been carrying a backpack again. I like to take my iPad with me to work if I get a chance on my lunch break to watch a show or something and just kind of zone out. So having my iPad with me, I've been carrying a backpack again. I had, oh gosh, I'm going to mess this up. I think this is the Atlantic This is a leather that when it came out I purchased, and it is beautiful, but I have always been a fan of this warm toned brown, and honestly this is like the perfect leather color for me. I would love to see Chic Sparrow sell a really thin, pliable leather like this in black. I've kind of gotten over the whole collecting a bunch of different colors, but I do love to have just like brown and black to like go over the whole year with. And if I have those two neutral colors, I'm pretty set. So I would love to have a black. Other than that, I'm trying to decide, since that isn't available, if I should get the Austin in, what is it, Moreland, I think is the black, or Black Beauty. But I'm a little hesitant because the creme leather is thicker. I am right now using a Friction in 0.5, and I've really kind of been all over the board in this. So I had been using the Hobonichi Weeks, and then I went to Personal Rings, I think, and then back to the Hobonichi Weeks, and then I was in A6 Rings for a few months, and then I don't even know what got into me. One day I just pulled out my Hobonichi and I looked at this and I missed it, and I decided I would try to use it as a memory planner again. And then, I don't know, it was so funny. So I sat in bed with my husband and I had this planner, well, in a different cover, but I had this planner and I pulled out my A6 rings and I was like, okay, give me your, like, if you were doing a review on these planners, which one would you choose? And, you know, my husband has always said that I'm like a rings person, and he really feels that. And if I spent too much time playing around in this, I probably could end up back in it. But there's something about this size and this shape that is just very appealing to me. And I do like that it's just everything is in one book and I don't have to worry about adding anything to it. There are cons to that because you can't then subtract anything from it, but I don't think that I'm going to get into all of that right now. So I have been using the Hobonichi Weeks again for the last several weeks. I've kind of been like all over the place. I got kind of tired of only ever having the Friction pen. As much as I love this pen, and I have used Friction pens for years. So yeah, I started it at the beginning of June, and so I've been in it for over a month. But I got kind of annoyed with only ever using Friction. If you're not careful, it can disappear. I haven't had really a lot of issue with that, but sometimes I'll forget and like I'll turn over here and I'll start erasing and then it erases through. And just, I like the idea of having something permanent in my planner. But on the other hand, then I make a mistake and then there's something permanent in my planner. There is this correction tape that you can get on Amazon that is this kind of beige color that mostly matches the Hobonichi Weeks, but I don't like dealing with that if I don't have to. So I did try using my Pilot Vanishing Point. I've had this pen for several years now and I love it, but I've always thought of it as like my journal pen. And so I haven't attempted to use it long term in my Hobonichi Weeks until recently. I did start using it and I have some fountain pen mixed in with my Friction here. And then I had a couple of times where it was acting kind of wonky and then my handwriting got messed up and then I just kind of was like, oh, I can't do this. So this week I believe was complete fountain pen, except for at the end here. No, this is fountain pen too, but it started acting like different and this became like messy in my opinion, like these boxes, and that was kind of like making me crazy. So for the moment, I've gone back to the Friction pen. This week, I think, yeah, see, and I also, despite always carrying my blotting paper and every time writing, sticking this in before I closed it, somehow it smeared, and I just don't like my planner to look messy. That probably would go away if I used an extra fine, but fine is really my sweet spot with most fountain pens. So I think that the trade-off would be that I wouldn't like anything finer than that. So I do keep this always tucked back in. It basically just goes back and forth for whatever I'm writing. So if I'm in my monthly, I'll bring it over here and slide it in. If I've just written in my weeks, I'll slide it in. And I have changed things up and taken up journaling for the most part, and so I've been using fountain pen back here. I think that if I get used to using the fountain pen journaling, that I'm just going to eventually only use the fountain pen, but we'll see about that. The only downside is that I do love to use these weather stencils, and it just doesn't work out for me using the stencil and the fountain pen. And then the friction gets a little messy with that too. So I also have the Tombow pens, but then I feel like I don't like knowing that I need to have two things out to get my planner set for the day. These are all like very small, dumb things. But you know, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I also have started using these I don't know, what are these, like page tabs or something. These are, oh gosh, I'll have to look and see. Lindsay's Scribbles uses these in her planner, and I had been using like the clear tabs from Martha Plans in here, but I kind of got tired of seeing the titles, and since there are only 3 of them, I know that the first one is month, the first one is week, and the next one is like my journaling day. Sometimes I do use this differently and make like long to-do lists or something like that, but I have kind of morphed into using it for a journal, and I don't know why, and I'm assuming that other people have done this before, but I haven't paid attention, or if somebody has mentioned it or suggested it, it hasn't like sunk in. But one of the things that I'm really loving about using a Hobonichi Weeks again is that since I have the Mega, I can use the back for a journal. And I've always kind of seen those things as separate entities. So I have my planner and then I have my journal. The problem is I also don't like to carry a lot of stuff around. I know that there are a lot of ladies who they go out and they have, you know, their big bag of ephemera, and they have their planner, and they have their planner stickers, and they have their journal, and they have all the different writing instruments. But for me personally, I like to carry like as light as possible, even if I'm in my backpack. I keep my pens contained to one of these like blue Q bags. I have another pen case that I absolutely love, but it's bulkier, and I don't tend to find myself going out with it. And then I keep some stickers that I'll reach for, like not character stickers, but just like functional stickers. I keep this like empty gum case, and I just throw that in because I know even if it gets like lost in my backpack, it's in this hard case and it's not going to get any of the pages, any of the sticker pages crinkly or anything. I don't even regularly carry this beige colored whiteout because this is pretty bulky compared to most of the other correction tapes that I have. And then in this pen case, I'll keep a couple of spare pens, some that I would use at work, some that I use just in my planner. I can actually pare this down as well. I also have pens that I like to use like in church to write notes during sermons and stuff. And then I'll keep my Tombow of the week or month or whatever it is in here as well. So this is like really minimal. So the idea of having my planner and journal with me at all times, like I said, I don't know what didn't make me think that this was a good idea sooner, especially because I don't journal frequently. I'm not good at remembering to journal. And I also don't think that journaling in a ring planner feels like a journal to me. So I love planning in a ring planner, but I don't think of those, I think of those as like just my planning pages. I don't have a section for a journal, nor do I think I ever would. So this works out really well, as infrequently as I do journal. And that is something that I don't think will change too much, because historically I've just not been a heavy journaler. And even if I journaled a little bit each day, like a little snippet, that's still not going to take up all of those pages in the mega. And that's one thing that I thought about in kind of regret about the mega, because I just don't find myself using the back pages a lot. But it also makes me nervous to have one that doesn't have all of those back pages. And so hopefully this will turn out to be like a happy medium of sorts. So for now, I'm using this as a journal and enjoying it. I'm also glad that I have a backup, because I started trying to do a different layout, and then before I decided that I didn't like it, I went ahead a few weeks and like was mapping this out. And so I do have my beautiful cover that I ended up not using because I ended up going with the mega, and I have used this a couple of times now to take weeks out and to tape those down so that I don't have to look at my errors. I did try to use the correction tape first, but it was way too obvious for me, and I also don't like writing on the correction tape, and it was going to be like this whole vertical line I had slid back over here, and it was like tape, 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 and I wasn't going to want to write over that. So I ended up taking 2 weeks out of my backup weeks and pasting them into here. So it's not like the best plan, I guess, but it's better than not wanting to look at my planner for 2 weeks straight because I'm not happy with what I like forced myself into for planning. So it's been working out really well for me. I see this planner as it has everything that I need. I'm not going to show you because there's personal information, but let me see if I didn't fill this out yet for this one. Okay, yeah, I didn't. So this section I use to track my cycle, intimacy, like all things that are like nobody else's business. If I'm having anxiety around my cycle, I will note that too, so I can see like patterns and things. And so there's nothing else that I have found that is as easy to see quickly what's going on with me in just like a 2-page spread. So this, when I tried to go back to rings, I just don't like it as much. And for me, this is perfect. So it has that place for me to track those things. The monthly views are large enough, the boxes are big enough to write things in, and I really like that they're all together. And then of course you have the weekly, and then all of those pages to do whatever you want. I just feel like it's all you need. It's an inclusive planner, and the couple of things that I wish was different is, since I struggle not liking ballpoint pens and so far not completely moving over to fountain pen, I have a love-hate relationship with Tomoe River paper. So I love that you have the crinkles, and I love that your planner is lightweight, but I prefer Stalogy's paper. And if I could wrap my head around how to make a bullet journal a planner, because I don't like hand drawing everything and I can't go without dates, I would use a Stalogy instead, because I think that their paper is just a little bit thicker, a little bit more pen friendly, and it's whiter than these cream pages. The other thing that I would love to see happen, because I know that they're not going to get rid of this paper, is I would really love if the grids were on this side as well. I don't have like a natural straight handwriting. Like, I was watching my husband take notes the other day on a piece of plain paper, and like everything was beautifully straight across, and I'm like, how do you even do that? I think there's like a malfunction in my brain, and I just can't naturally write in a straight line. So I always need lines. Sometimes I'll take out the pencil board and kind of lay it out so that I kind of get the way I need, but that's then an inconvenience, and I just don't want to be pulling that out every single time I write something on this side. So I wish that they would make this area grid too. It does not make sense to me why it doesn't continue to both sides. But other than those two things, this is really a great planner. And if I would let go of fighting with the paper and pens, I think that it is planner piece. I could just as easily hop back into rings and say something similar, but there's just, to me, like a beauty of this book, you know, sitting anywhere, opening it up, having everything. And I've really, really been enjoying, like I said, I have this at work. It doesn't take a bunch of room up in my backpack, and then feeling like, oh, okay, I have 10 minutes. I'd like to journal about what just happened, and being in the same book and flipping back and forth. One of the hindrances for me in journaling, I struggle just with consistency. I struggle with thinking that I have anything worthy to put on paper. But then if I think of something that I want to journal about and I don't have my journal with me because I don't want to take up space in my bag, by the time I get home, like the excitement of wanting to write that down has already passed. So with this, when inspiration strikes or when I get the time, my planner is already there with me, and it's also my journal. So I take one book with me and I have everything that I need. And for me, I'm really all about simplifying things right now. I haven't been using a lot of decoration. My washi tape is going unused. I've really just been sticking to my stuff here, like my little stickers, which I still rarely use these, but I like knowing that they're in my bag. The pens that I'm using, the highlighter that I'm using, and then in the back of my planner, I keep my stencils for my weather, and there's stuff back here I don't want to show you. So there's like my number stencil, and that is from Hobonichi, and then my weather stencil, and that is from journalthisnow.com. And so these things tuck really easily in here, and I can really easily, usually, just go out with one pen and the planner and not need anything else. And then the other couple of things are usually with me unless I'm running a quick errand. And so it's just lightweight, it's no fuss. And for me, that's like everything that I'm about, and it's made me like ridiculously happy. So whatever prompted me to go and open up my Hobonichi that night and look at these stickers that I had loaded into here, I'm grateful for that, because I feel like I've landed back in to a much more simplified planning and now journaling routine, and just the simplified not having to worry about adding anything or taking anything away or printing anything. It's just brought less stress on me. That is my sort of mid-year update. Who knows what the rest of the year will bring, but I just wanted to pop in here and say hi and tell you how things were going and show you how I'm using the weeks right now. I'm excited to say hello and chat with you guys in the comments below. If you are new around here and don't want to miss out on future videos, don't forget to subscribe, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon, sooner than it was last time. Have a great day.